Something historic just happened in Washington, D.C. today, and not in a good way. It wasn't a bipartisan breakthrough. It wasn't a return to stability. It was the formal passage of one of the most extreme and dangerous budget bills in modern American history. Donald Trump's budget reconciliation bill has passed the House, and it's heading to his desk. And once he signs it, the damage begins. This isn't just a budget. It's a manifesto of cruelty wrapped in the American flag and shoved down the country's throat. It will strip health care from millions of families, slash public education by billions, erase funding for climate science, space exploration, and cancer research, and gut vital disaster relief programs right as wildfires, hurricanes, and floods are intensifying. Meanwhile, it gives ICE a $48.5 billion blank check and somehow still manages to blow a hole in the national deficit, adding between $3.3 and $4.2 trillion in new debt. Every expert said no. Every economist said stop. But Trump and his MAGA enablers said full speed ahead. This budget doesn't serve the people. It punishes them. It's not about fiscal responsibility. It's about retribution, ideological dominance, and arming the tools of authoritarian control. This isn't a partisan disagreement. This is a turning point in American history. So we're going to pull back the curtain and walk you through every devastating detail of this bill the media barely dares to cover, and why this fight is just getting started. Let's begin with the largest cut in the bill and the most dangerous. Trump's budget cuts $1 trillion from Medicaid over the next decade. That's over 80 million people impacted. An estimated 15 to 16 million people will lose their Medicaid over the course of the next 10 years. It'll put rural hospitals out of business. It'll close nursing homes. It will affect lower income families, children, disabled Americans, seniors in long-term care facilities. This program funds half of all births in the United States. It provides essential care for mental health, cancer, addiction, and emergencies. And now, it's been thrown into crisis. Also repeals ACA subsidies, rural hospital funding, mental health and opioid treatment programs. This is targeted cruelty. It's not about saving money, it's about cutting lives loose. Next, America's children. Trump's budget slashes 15% from public education, wiping away $12 billion. That means underfunded schools, fewer special education services, no school mental health support. It also eliminates after-school programs, school meals for poor kids, Pell Grants, public service loan forgiveness. All of that redirected to private religious academies, right-wing charter schools, patriotic education programs straight out of the propaganda playbook. This isn't education policy. It's ideological warfare on public schools. If you care about research, technology, and progress, you might want to brace yourself. Trump's budget is an all-out war on science. NIH, the National Institute of Health, cuts 40%, losing $18 billion. NASA will be slashed by 47%. The NIST cut by 28%. The Department of Energy's Office of Science down 14%. That means canceled research into cancer, Alzheimer's, and pandemic prevention, end of critical climate monitoring, slowed progress in AI safety, quantum computing, and clean energy innovation. This is how nations fall behind. This is how America gives up its future on purpose. The climate crisis is already here, but Trump's budget says, good luck out there. The budget will cut $3.6 billion from FEMA. That means weakened hurricane and flood response, no more wildfire mitigation grants, defunded flood zone mapping and risk assessments. Also slashes the National Weather Service, Clean Energy Tax Credit, EPA Enforcement Authority. As storms intensify, this budget leaves us blind, broke, and burning. It's not just irresponsible, it's catastrophic planning by design. Let's talk about what this bill values and what it doesn't. Gutted. Job training programs down 40%, SNAP food assistance, Section 8 housing vouchers, child tax care credit expansion eliminated. Even veterans aren't spared. $12 billion cut from the VA, less access to mental health, suicide prevention, and housing support. But you know who gets a massive raise? ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. The agency responsible for arresting and deportations sees its budget grown from $3.5 billion to $48.5 billion. That's a 1,285% increase. While kids lose school lunches, veterans lose support, Trump is building a surveillance state with a police force to match. This isn't America first. It's authoritarianism first. Now, here's the part that shatters every Republican talking points. Even after gutting vital programs, Trump's budget adds between $3.3 and $4.2 trillion to the deficit. That's right. This isn't about balancing anything. It's about redistributing everything. $400 billion in corporate tax cuts, new billionaire tax loopholes, $100 billion in wasteful defense contract slush funds. This isn't a budget, it's a heist. This didn't come out of nowhere. The Congressional Budget Office warned it would deepen inequality. Moody's Analytics said it would hurt growth and hammer working families. Even conservative think tanks admitted it's reckless and unstable. But Trump and MAGA passed it anyway. Because this bill isn't about facts, it's about raw power and punishing the people who can't fight back. So, where do we go from here? We resist, we speak out, we vote. This budget is not just numbers on paper, it's a moral document. And this one fails every test. We can still fight for human health care as a human right, fully funded public schools, science that pushes us forward, a fair economy for working people, not billionaires. Trump's budget is a roadmap to collapse. But we still have the power to say, not on our watch. If this breakdown shocked you, like, subscribe, and share right now. Leave a comment. What part of this budget horrifies you the most? This fight isn't over. This is just the beginning. And this is Justin Talk Network, and we are not backing down. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay angry, and most of all, stay loud.